And there you go. Good morning, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. Welcome to Open. It's the one and only show that opens up the Bronx in New York City, right? And the world to you. I'm your host, and we've got a whole lot going on for you. So kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Coming up on today's show, we'll learn about how a couple has built a 25-year relationship strong enough to last a lifetime, as highlighted in their book, Just Dance With Me. And after that, we'll sit down with an author and community leader who has released a new book. Yeah, we're into the books that honors the past while shaping the future too, and the black and brown men and women. And then finally, we'll sit down with the executive director of an organization that is providing music education for our youth. So sit back, kick off your shoes. But before we get into it, I want to thank Brittany Schuyler and Keeping Arlene for filling in for me. Thank you so much. We did a big bus tour where we toured a lot of the HBCUs, and we also did a graduation and some other things. And I'd like to thank all the people who came down for the Mother's Day Super Jam. I mean, it was off the hook, I tell you. This young man was here, Russell Tompkins Jr. and the new Stylistics, Hal Melvin's Blue Notes, Wilbert Hart, formerly of the Delphonics, and also The Intruders, I'll Always Love My Mama, 'cause she's my favorite girl, and also The Tramps, featuring Earl Young. And everybody had a great time, and we had the crowd just jumped out and said, every day is Mother's Day, and they're absolutely right. So I want to thank all of them for coming down to that show. But we'd like to bring some of this stuff to you in the future, so we'll talk to some of the people at BronxNet to see if we can do some of that gathering and just bring it to you. All right, here we go. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. We're wide open. Here we go. I'm the Doctor, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We'll get it all together. We just did that big show on WBLS, so we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest are a married couple based in Atlanta, Georgia. They're co-authors of the book, Just Dance With Me. And he joined us to speak about how the pandemic strengthened their marriage that spans over 25 years and counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. We'll get it straight. Please welcome to the show, Carita and Leon Montgomery. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So,
Hi, Dr. Bob.
yeah, you guys are no stranger to the show. You guys have been on before, and you were talking about this togetherness, and I like the way you guys are moving together in the same direction for a common cause. We say it all the time. So tell us what you guys are up to now and how you're keeping that marriage and the strength of the marriage together.
So, really cool. Last weekend, Dr. Bob, we hosted our first annual Just Stay Together Boo marriage retreat here in Fayetteville, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. But we had 6 couples that we brought together for a weekend, and we were able to inspire them. And Leon was instrumental in coming up with the agenda. So you want to tell them some of the stuff we did?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I should have stopped by because I was in Atlanta. I stopped by Morehouse, Clark, and Spelman. And there's a place out there called Mr. Everything. I don't know if you know about it.
Yes.
You know about it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he grew up in
Yeah, we got one
Queensbridge,
there.
Long Island City, Queensbridge. He's from the bridge. And the food is good. And he has a new spot there where you can go upstairs and they're going to do some karaoke and all that stuff. And the food and the other stuff that comes along with it is good. So, yeah, I could have stopped by and just spoken to you about what was coming
You
up.
told us.
Yeah.
You said the next time you come to Atlanta. you
Next
was gonna
time we'll
hook
get
up.
it going on. So I'm sorry, Leon. What were you going to say?
Some of the activities that we did with the couples, we did a dance class.
Yeah.
Teaching couples how to communicate just through dance, and the guy being the lead, and the spouse has to follow his instruction in order
Yeah.
to make the dance successful.
That's a whole
So
nother language. Your
yes,
body language. Yeah.
We didn't realize it, and it exposed so many couples.
it's hard.
He said, I can tell wives who don't know how to submit. He said, I can tell husbands who aren't used to leading. It was very eye-opening just
Yeah,
from
yeah.
dance.
Now you're dealing with
Nonverbal.
mostly adults, right?
Yes.
It was all adults. All
Yeah,
adults.
all adults. Now, with that body language comes, if you play the slow music from back in the day, they started a rap. They'll rap to you in that record. And usually guys would like to get in your ear and say
a
that
little
rap
closer.
that you hear on the song.
The hand started going down south. Yes.
And so he actually brought some of that in.
Uh-huh.
We had to hold our hand on top of his hand, and he grabbed us by the male grabbed the woman by the waist.
Uh-huh.
But we couldn't make a move unless he told us to. So if he wanted me to turn, like he instructed me to turn. It was so cute, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really good. We did like date night, and we did game night, and we did a guided tour. But it was just a weekend of just rekindling and reuniting marriage, and just intentionally being
That's
focused
how you
on
have to
marriage.
keep it alive. You have to keep it alive. You're in love with somebody, that circle of love has to continue by just doing different things.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And we will do it again. So it was our first one.
Uh-huh.
So we are going to continue it. It's going to be annual.
Oh, good, good. Maybe we should make it quarterly.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go
It's a
into
lot,
it.
right? I know,
Yeah.
I know. All right, maybe twice a year.
Right, exactly.
So you did that, and then you put the pen to the paper, huh? You got the book out?
Uh-huh. The book launched, we actually launched it on our anniversary in 22.
Uh-huh.
And we just this year decided that we were going to be more intentional about the book being a tool in other marriages.
Yeah.
And we were invited to a talk show here in Atlanta that's going to air tomorrow at 1 p.m., where we really got to talk about some of the gritty stuff, the non-flowery, kind of like what things were toxic that we fixed in the marriage. So
Yeah.
that's going to air tomorrow on Fox.
That's beautiful. Do you know the people? What station do you listen to out there? 103?
Yes, V103.
V103. I know some of the people up there. There's a guy named Reggie. He's the vice president up there. Maybe you can give him a call and say, hey, Bob Lee told me to give you a call. We have this new book out. I was wondering if you can touch it. I was just ask.
Yeah.
If you never ask,
We
nobody
would
will ever know.
love to.
Yeah.
We would love to, because to reach that number of people, because all the feedback that we've been getting, Dr. Bob, is like, where were you, 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
my marriage really needed this. So we feel like it's a good work. It's work that's serving couples. So we want to continue and get more exposure.
Leon, how has it worked for you? Because, a lot of
Oh.
people kind of sway a little bit because the marriage gets kind of stale and boring maybe at times. But that's a part of it, too, that you have
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah, you got to deal with the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But most of the feedback I've been getting, they want to hear from me, the male, from the relationship. Some of the things that men don't often get the opportunity to talk about,
Yeah.
especially to other men. And women want to hear from me as well, men as well. And sometimes they want to hear the truth from another spouse, another person, opposed to their own spouse.
Well, what do you tell the guys?
That depends on what they're going through. My thing is I make sure I have the fellas know that communication is the key. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, and you got to be able to listen. You got to be able to actually hear what the person is saying, and be willing to compromise and change.
Yeah. Looks like y'all do a lot of stuff, a lot of activities, right? A lot of, you go fishing, you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
put that blanket down, get that basket, get the sandwiches going or whatever, you know.
Yeah, we do date night every Friday.
Yeah, and he started that. That was his thing to make
Ah,
sure that we do date night every Friday. So that was the one way that he wanted to make sure that we put the marriage first.
yeah. Date night every Friday. And you do
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
different places, right? Or you go
Correct.
different places to eat, maybe
Right.
plays and movies, things of that nature.
Comedy shows.
Good, good.
Yeah.
What?
Live music, concerts, just whatever he comes up with, that's
Uh,
his thing. And I kind of go with the flow. So he started this actually a little bit before the pandemic, but the pandemic he really put it on strong when he started this whole backyard party thing and made it where it was a oasis for me when I came home
uh-huh.
from work, because I was, unfortunately, I didn't get laid off or anything like that. Now, fortunate for me, but when I came home, all the kids and he were home, so he said I want to do something special, so he started a backyard party.
Go ahead,
And
Leon. All right now.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
had the music and everything. You got the DJ system out there.
Oh yeah, yes. Got the speaker out there, got the grill going, and if when she come home, she just fall right into place.
Yeah, yeah.
I can make sure I have her wine, and get music going, and
Uh,
we into it. So that became a weekly
Carita, did
thing.
you know he was going to do that the first time he did it, or was it a surprise when you came home?
it was a total surprise. I
Uh,
didn't know he was going to do it. And my husband his thing was going to sports bars on Fridays.
uh-huh.
So when the pandemic, shut all that down, he wasn't able to go to sports bars. He loves sports. He loves watching sports with other men. And so when he did it, I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, he said, oh, it's all for you. And then he kept doing it every week intentionally, and it really made me feel special. And one of the things that I've discovered is that my love language is quality time.
Yeah,
So the more time he spent with me, the better our marriage became, and it rekindled, our marriage and the love we have for each other.
that's beautiful. All right, so what will people learn from the book Just Dance With Me?
Well, one of the things we wanted to do is because we didn't have, I came from a single parent home, he came from a single parent home, and there was no blueprint. So one of the things that we wanted to do is give couples things that are like red flags or roadblocks that you can get through, but you should have a plan for it. So we talked about raising the kids, things that you do and don't do. We talked about finances, things that will help you if you talk about it in the beginning. We talked about things, where do you worship? That should be a conversation that's had early on in the marriage if you didn't come from the same
Yeah,
faith or
to
denomination
find
and
out
things of
if
that
you're equally
nature.
yoked. Yeah.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Hmm.
And then we talked about, divorce not being an option. So if you go in with saying, hey, this is going to go to eternity, if we go in with that mindset versus having one foot out the door, always thinking divorce is an option. And that came from Leon. That was his big thing is, no divorce.
Yeah.
And also wanted them to get from the book. We were very transparent about some of the issues that we've endured. And we just want this book to just be a stepping stone. If you got the book, read it, you can see what we actually went through and learn from that. Because there was violence,
Yeah.
there was emotional abuse, sometimes physical abuse, and we just put it out there, and we know some couples are probably experiencing the same thing and just don't know how to deal with it. So hopefully they can
That's
learn
it.
through our mistakes.
You're in the business of helping others get what they need out of life. We always say that.
Yeah.
Put the book
Yeah.
back up one more time because we have to give them some props. That's an excellent. The design and everything is really, really, really nice. So you want to give some props to the people who maybe put the picture together, put the design together.
Uh-huh. Actually, my daughter was the photographer. So she actually was the creative director for what happened
Uh-huh.
on the front cover. And then I work with this other young lady that does my graphic designs for books. Her name is Sherilyn.
Yeah,
And her agency is the Camden agency. So she did the cover.
that's good.
But what I'm doing in the picture was actually Leon's idea for me to take my shoes off and put his coat on me.
All right
That
now.
was, yeah, that was his whole idea.
Go ahead, Leon.
I got it
We
in there.
applaud you guys, man. I love
Thank
what you
you.
guys are doing. Okay, where can we
Thank you
get the
so much.
book?
Amazon.com, and it's just Dance with Me. There's a Rhythm and Flow to Longevity and Marriage
Uh-huh.
by Leon and Carita Montgomery. So Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, and then our website is justdancewithme.com, and you can get it there as well.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to call them the love coaches, marriage coach, Leon and Carita Montgomery.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Co-author, Dance with Me. Co-authors together, or authors together. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank
come
you
back again, okay?
Dr.
And we
Bob.
come to Atlanta, I'm going to give you a call.
Okay, do
Please
that.
do.
Please do.
ATL,
Thank
here
you.
we come.
ATL.
All right. I'll talk to you guys
Thank
soon,
you.
all right?
All
All right, we'll
right.
take a quick break. I've got more coming up next.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Kat from the Kitty Rose Lifestyle, also from The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray every week right here at BronxNet, Saturdays at 11 p.m. Wow, 30 years. 30 years of BronxNet public access television. I'm a girl from Brooklyn and came to the Bronx 25 years ago, started my journey on BronxNet on public access television in 2016, and BronxNet is where I got my start. BronxNet, I feel like, is a home away from home. They support all of my endeavors, and I wouldn't have been able to be on any of the other channels if it wasn't for the fundamentals that I learned right here at my start here at BronxNet. So I am so appreciative. My son says I should stop telling people I'm from Brooklyn because I've been here now, Bronx Strong, for 22 years. So I'm so grateful, and I wish you much success in 30 years, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 more, because public access is necessary so that people like myself can have a voice. Yes, BronxNet. It's your girl Kat from Kitty Rose. Check me out every Saturday at 11 p.m. right here, Channel 68, The Next Chapter, where we discuss shades of gray. Mwah.
Without BronxNet, I don't know how we'd be able to showcase the important and amazing talents that we have here at the Bronx. We've been able to feature lots of great artists, performers, people who deal with coffee and small entrepreneurship businesses, discuss controversial topics, and also be able to share the voice of residents that might not normally have access without a place like BronxNet.
And welcome back. Our next guest is an author and community leader dedicated to supporting historically black colleges and universities, the HBCUs. And she joins us to speak about how she honors the past while inspiring our future with her latest book, Black Tech, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. Beginning, middle, and end. 1, 2, 3. ABC. All of those things. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Welcome to the show, Theresa Merritt-Watson. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. So tell us about your beginnings. How did it all start for you? And how did you get involved in what you're doing right about now?
I have always worked with our community, particularly the African American community. Even though I've worked with other communities, I particularly work with African Americans, and I have my children also be part of that community development as well, which I have 6 of them.
Yeah.
So I got started in looking at our kids have reading issues, have communication issue with the administration of schools, being a liaison for different schools and different families. So I've always been something I've always done, even though my background has been in the business industry, until I decided to go back and actually focus on what I feel like my purpose is.
Uh-huh. And so you said, you know what? Let me put the pen to the paper and write a book and put it out there.
Well,
How did that interest get sparked?
the interest got sparked. When I tutor, when I go into families, children and families in our community, in the Black community, they're very limited to their knowledge of the contribution that African American have made in the development of this country.
Yes.
And so, just about everything that you touch, African American have had a hand in its development. And so, if you don't if you go to the table and you don't feel like you're part of the process, you come back, you start withdrawing, you start feeling like you're not part of the system. And so our kids, we see the prison pipeline, and they start testing and looking at kids around the third or fourth grade. But these things are something this would be much easier to take care of in first and second grade or kindergarten. And so our kids get to this level, and you see a progression of them declining in the education. And so what we have, and so what it prompted me to do it is that, okay, let me write something, a book that can encourage people to learn their history, to be proud of who they are, uh, to recognize and have the family more involved in the development of their kids' education.
Yeah.
And so that's how I ended up writing. That's how I started out with writing the book. It started out to be a fourth and fifth grade, but then I said, I wanted to be a tabletop where somebody can pick it up, open it up, they'll see Gladys West, they'll learn one thing about her, and then they will have somebody that they can go look up for Black History Month or for anything, any other type of project that they're actually doing at the time.
Yeah, and my producers know I'm going to say this because I'm going to get a copy of your book, and I want you to get a copy of my book, and I think both books can blend in and teach people something very, very, very important about our history. Because in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been, know where you are, to know where you're going. And I like it because your book says the future, Black tech, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There it is right there. And
Yes.
fly high as an eagle. Yeah. All right. I like that.
Well, the
I like that
eagle.
illustration also.
Thank you so much. But I try to, people ask me what the eagle represents. And the eagle is one of those birds that it doesn't have, when you, if a predator, if an animal gets and catch the
Yeah.
eagle doesn't try to fight them. What happens with the eagle flies high and forces you to let go. That's an
Yeah.
encouragement for our community. And it doesn't, you end up losing oxygen, so you have no choice.
Exactly. And it's usually that crow that's annoying to that eagle. So the eagle says, all right, I'll just go way up here. You can't breathe up here like I can.
And exactly, that's exactly what happens. And
Yeah.
so, the road gets tough, the journey is tough, but you
Yeah.
keep going and you keep sowing, then you will still make it through. So that's why I had the eagle on the book, to represent and give people encouragement. And we continue to make history in today's market. And if you can get the little kids to take it home, to leave home with it, once you got something, no one can take it away from you. And you learn something, they can't take it away. So we can have our kids start the school
Yeah.
with a sense of pride, with a sense of ownership, with a
And-
sense of belonging. And I think it would make a difference in how we see and project school. I know the other dynamics of economics, housing, health. Those things are out there. But I'm gonna focus on the education and economic side. And there's a lot of people that's doing the other things that actually help try to change the trajectory of the African American community.
Yeah, I like it. My book is People to Know in Black History and Beyond. Yours is Black
Oh,
Tech. How did you come up with the name on your book?
well, the Black Tech, I had to once I decided my book is written for first to third grade, but once I decided that that was going to be my target market, then I had to decide what would intrigue students to purchase a book, um, parents to purchase a book that it can intrigue kids. And so I have the cell phone in there with Jesse Russell. I have the Gladys West with the GPS. I have the security system. And the refrigerator. Everything I have in there is relatable to children, and so it wouldn't be like a foreign thing to them. So that's why I ended up doing the tech.
Yeah.
And right now I'm finishing up science, but it's still things that's related that they can relate to. And on the flip side of that, when parents pick it up, what I want to say is I sent this book out to people from 20 to 85. No
Yeah.
one came back knowing more than two people.
Wow.
And I'm talking about black people.
Yeah.
Well, this to some white people as well, but majority of black people, and no one. I'm talking about doctors. Um, I sent it to some of my friends that are physicians, doctors, PhDs,
Yeah.
um, engineers. No one knew more than two people. That so it's a need there to let you see that there is a genuine need for us to learn. Our kids are going to school not knowing anything. They learn about other people. In fact, and in a lot of the schools that I've looked in, they will teach you history and European history, but not a deep dive of Black history, and that should start at a very early age.
Yeah. Do you go to a lot of these schools and let them know about your book, or you do the career days?
I would
How are you getting it out there?
Well, I do have a publicist, which um, and I do send information out. But a lot of the schools, I have gone to schools in Georgia, North Carolina, Philadelphia. I've had articles written about it. So getting out into school is one of the things that I really hope for. But
Yeah.
since the summer is coming, I have spent time contacting corporations to see if they will purchase book and let me give it to urban and rural students.
Yeah.
And so I can start that whole notion and idea of of students learning about themselves over the summer. This to me is a drive to send them actually help them start looking at it before they get back into school in
Yeah.
September.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we can come up with something where if the kids pick up the book and read it, maybe it'll be something when they come back, showing that they
Yes.
read it. Hit some bullet points that they have to know when they come back, and maybe you can give them a gift card to. It used to be Toys R Us or one of those places where they can go. I don't even know if they still have Toys R Us.
They do. They do.
Yeah, give them a gift
Yeah.
card or something like that if they, and that can be sponsored by somebody also.
I'm looking forward to some sponsorship. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But
Go ahead.
I want to say one of the other things in the book that I wanted to highlight because there's a lot of children that will not go to college, don't have the desire to go to college. So in my book, you see Frederick Jones, the refrigerator truck, Louis
Yeah,
Latimer, which is all over the world, is his invention, which is the light, uh, the filament for the light.
yeah,
You see Alexander Mao, the elevator door opener. You go any country, they have an elevator. You can so these things are not just people doing stuff here in the United States,
yes,
but it's all over the world.
all
You
over
could
the
go to
world.
Africa. There's elevators. There's light, and even though it was sold to GE, it is an invention of a black man. And
Yeah,
so what I want people to do is understand the power that we have instilled in this development of not just the United States but the world. And so these three guys that I named, they're in the book, and they didn't go to college. They didn't go to college. They finished high school,
yeah,
but they're self-taught engineers and electrical and mechanical
yeah.
engineers.
They're part of
And so
a vocation, so they stuck
yes,
with that. Yeah, that's a whole nother
and I think
avenue, but that's people are successful with that also.
and people will think that there's no other alternative but college. And I wanted this, so I highlighted that. And then the other
Yeah,
thing that I highlighted is that in the book, it tells you where the individual, the inventor is from, and if they attended a HBCU and the name of the HBCU. to help people become familiar with the different HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some are struggling, so I have my last count was 102, and
Wow.
so, but some is sort of on the borderline, but that's still, as long as you haven't closed, you're still in my count. Um, and so one of the key things here is that with the HBCUs, at one point in time, people were saying there was no use for the HBCUs. There's clearly a use for the HBCU, but I've gone to college fairs and people didn't know Hampton, didn't know Howard, had never heard of HBCU, just the
Yeah.
term. And when you have people in leadership position do not know HBCUs and do not know um, uh, do not know I'm gonna say the core 10 HBCUs. That's a problem in your district, particularly when you're serving a large African American population. So I wanted to highlight that, and also with the HBCUs, no school real endowment except for maybe 5, but that still is not as big as a Harvard or something. And we can actually make our endowment in our school big if we just
Yeah.
take every African American decide that they want to donate $5 to whatever school they wanted to. It would make a huge difference
Yeah.
because so that's there's little things. I do have the PWI. Your educational background is in there, but
Oh, great.
it will always show those two elements to make sure that we capture. Because when our African American boys leave school, if they didn't do well academically, I've seen some do apprenticeship. I've made relationships with HVAC people, and they would agree to hire someone on as an apprentice for
Yeah.
X number of months or years. And he says that his goal is he will groom them for them to open their own business. Now, every time somebody come in my house to working on my air condition, my heat, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm paying $100, $200 an hour for that.
Yeah.
And so it's great money in it. And
Mm.
and in fact, they can make more than a psychologist or teacher, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
But it's always good to look back on some of the people whose shoulders we stood on, and people who are still doing great things today. And that's why I'm piggybacking off of yours. I don't want to promote my book on yours, but it's similar because this is volume 1, I believe it is. People to Know in Black History and Beyond. And you see on there Hal Jackson, you see Percy Sutton, Al Sharpton. Percy Sutton and Hal Jackson started the radio station WBLS here in New York, and the business went from there. They acquired about 18 different radio stations across the country, but they were in business. And Percy Sutton once said, some people call me a jack of all trades and a master of none. He said, no, I just keep 5 or 6 or 7 businesses because if 1 or 2 or 3 fail, I'm still in business. So stuff like that is in the book just to spark interest, to let people know that people have done these things and you may be interested in something like that. You just have to find your passion. And once you find that passion, you stick with it, because when you stick with something long enough, something always happens. Who would have known? I mean, I grew to be almost this age to find out that there were 3 people who helped propel astronauts into space in the 60s. And you came out with the book Hidden Figures and the movie Hidden Figures. And I said, well, wait a minute. There's still a lot of people that we need to talk about and put out in these books. So I thank you for all that you're doing. But I don't want to promote my book. I just want to
can you give me the name of the book again?
I just wanted to create the similarities. People to Know in Black History and Beyond. Volumes 1, 2, and 3. It's a trilogy now. People to Know in Black History and Beyond. I guess
And what is your age group?
my age group, this goes through the later parts of junior high school, and college.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a connection. So yours is mostly elementary, to
Yes.
eliminate that pipeline to jail, to create the awareness down there that you need to do something to shake yourself away from that. But I think maybe we can get together and do something somewhere to let people know about the history. Because, like I said before, in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been, know where you are, to know where you're going. And I think that's
It's a
important.
beautiful book you've written.
Yeah. No, but we're here to highlight yours. My producer just threw that up there because it was the same category, history. And he thought that, I should get your book and you should get mine. There's a
Well,
lot in it, you know.
well,
But
I've
thank
gotten
you.
yours.
But thank you for coming on and sharing, and we'll make sure you get yours too. I have about 2.5 minutes left. Are you reaching out to anybody to try to help you in some of the things that you're doing with your organization?
Yes. Let me tell you, my organization. I'm gonna take us 30 seconds. My organization. I have a nonprofit called Synergy Training Solutions,
Yeah.
and in some of we have two projects. We're partnered with one group. So Synergy has. Our goal is to get some of the corporations to purchase a book so we can give them away to
Yes.
students
Yes.
and start that. So that's one of the elements that we're doing. The second thing that we're doing is that we have a program called Lead and Read, where
Yeah.
the African American Church will join Synergy Training Solution, and in that process, their members of that church will reach out into the community, get an African American student between 4 and 19, and that student will call them on the phone and read to them once a week for
I
10
like
minutes.
that. I like that.
And
Yes.
so that's the other project. And then I've partnered with 3Ps. And 3Ps is an organization where they work with middle and high school students and their passion, pursuit, and purpose. That's what the 3Ps stand for.
Yeah.
And so if you notice it, a lot of times, and I'm going to go back to the elementary for a minute. When a child comes into the earth and start developing, they have an interest and a passion. Now, of course, um, their interest and passion may change, but their purpose will not change.
Yeah.
But so what you see is that sometimes the kids keep expressing their interest and their passion, and it's not nurtured. So you start losing the kids because what they're interested in, you're not nurturing it. And
Yes.
this is what one of the things that I like to be able to share with teachers. How can I nurture when I got 30 kids in my room or when I got 20? And most of the things have a relatable uh, they're relatable to the subjects. It's
Hmm.
how you present that subject. And give you a quick example is that if someone is interested in stars and when somebody's interested in something related to electronics or cell phone, both of those elements have a mathematical component to it. So when you're talking about it, you can relate to the star and you can relate to the components for a cell phone or whatever you're doing, or if you're creating some SOPs and someone thinks that they're a great writer and they're in first grade and they like writing, and you can relate to some of those things. And so there's ways that you can relate and nurture a kid's interest and passion. So so what I've done is I've worked with 3Ps on the passion, uh, pursuit, and purpose. And so it's more particular when our boys will are well I have a passion for boys because I have three of them.
Yes.
But when they leave high school and they decide that they're not going to college, if you haven't educated them properly, and they haven't gotten it, even if they have, the 3Ps will give them the foundation to eventually work through some of the things, and so they can reach their fulfillment in life, so they can actually soar
Yeah.
in life.
There you
So
go.
those are the three, but you can go to synergytrainingsolution.org. You can the book is set up where you can do a book donation. You can call us,
Hmm.
and so that's how. And or you can set up. I love speaking to people about African American education. I do think it'll make a difference, particularly the parents,
Yes.
and particularly the parents. I would like to say sometimes I've gone to school board meeting for many, many years. And a lot of times in the more recent years, you can go to a school board meeting and not even hear the word parent
Yeah.
in a school board meeting.
Where,
And
where,
so
yeah. Where are you located?
I'm physically located in Philadelphia. My home
Oh,
is
you're right
Chapel Hill,
here.
North.
Okay.
Yeah. And right now I'm located in New York because I'm in New York with my son.
Okay.
But the thing of it is that I'm in Philadelphia. I'm getting a doctorate right now.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so
Hey,
I'm
listen,
I'm here.
I have 30 seconds, so give us that website, and we appreciate you, and we love that you're getting the doctorate and everything, and you're always welcome to come back and share more. We've got lots of great space for you to come in and let people know about what you're doing. But give us that website where people can contribute to what you're doing and find out more about your book and what you're doing.
It's synergytrainingsolutions.org.
You got it. Theresa Merritt-Watson, author, Black Tech, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
And good luck to you. All right, we'll take a break. I've got more. We got a whole lot more coming up next on Open.
Hello, my name is Tyrone Lowe. I host a show at Bronxnet called The Legends, where I bring real legends, DJs, upcoming artists, actually people from the past that's into entertainment. I want to thank Bronxnet. First of all, I want to thank for the 30 years of the actually being active here. It has opened a lot of doors for me to the point where I'm branching off to have my own network. Fulfill your dreams here. That's all I have to say.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city, and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak, and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Keeping you up to date right here on BronxNet. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking it out. Welcome back, everybody. Our last guest is the Executive Director of Education through Music and joins us to talk about how our organization has successfully provided quality music education for New York City youth in New York City for 3+ decades. So please welcome to the show, Janice Weinman. Janice, how are you? Welcome.
Good, thank you. Glad to be on and with you.
So you've been doing this for some time. How long has this been in effect? Because a lot of people want to know more about it.
This organization has been in operation for over 30 years. We are constantly expanding. We serve around 20,000 students throughout the city of New York,
Uh-huh.
students who otherwise would never receive any kind of music education. And it is really something that is really contributes to their growth, their development, their attitudes, and their work in school. And we partner with 50 under-resourced schools throughout the city, primarily in the Bronx, where we have around 30 schools where our students attend, and over 12,000 students in the borough of Bronx.
It's important to learn about an organization like yours because, over the years you hear about programs being cut, music programs out of the schools. To support something like that, it's good to hear that we have an organization like yours. Are you hearing that too? Is that still happening? Those programs are
We
still being cut?
Programs are definitely being cut. The budget is always an issue, but we provide the teachers. We pay for the largest percentage of the teacher's salary. We provide the teachers in schools throughout the city. We provide them with professional development throughout the year. We provide the curriculum to the schools. So the schools really get a package of a program that is comprehensive, that serves as a core subject in the schools in which we are giving our services.
Yeah.
So even though the budget is being cut, we can provide this service to around 50 schools.
And this is elementary through junior high and high school?
Yes, we're primarily in the elementary grades, but we're also in middle school and high school. We have a curriculum that goes all the way through. We have students who avail themselves of this music education at every grade. We're embedded in the schools in which we provide our program. And as a result, we're really part of the community as well,
Yeah.
which is really important.
Yeah, this is great. We have to continue to let people know that this is available to them. If there's a school out there that needs your help, what do they have to do?
They can reach us at www.etmonline.org.
Yeah.
Um, and they simply have to indicate that they're interested in having a program. We accommodate all the kinds of interests of the school. We even have an extension of the school day after school. We work out a schedule with the school so that we can provide our teachers at a time that is
Yeah.
convenient and that fits into the overall program of the school.
And the school just needs to provide you with a room, and you bring everything else, the teacher, the instruments,
That's
the
correct.
curriculum.
All they have to do is provide us with a room. And as you have already said, we provide them with the teacher, with the curriculum, with the teacher training, with instruments. It's really a full service program that we run. But the most important thing is our students are so empowered through this.
Mhm.
You know, music education really makes a difference in the lives of students, particularly those who would otherwise not receive music education.
Yeah.
They learn skills, they learn discipline, they learn about their own ability to be creative, they learn about teamwork. It's so much of a really empowering experience. And we find most of all it brings students joy.
Yeah, and it's an interaction because you have a call and response in music and everybody's working together. You have to be on that same page in order to make something work. Have the melody, the rhythm, and everything working together.
And we teach them the melody, the rhythm, and working together so they not only learn how to perform on their own, but they learn how to work with their fellow students in an
Yeah.
orchestra, in a band, in a choir, whatever we have available to them. And so it's a wonderful juxtaposition of learning independence on the one hand, because you learn an instrument, you learn how to be creative, you learn how to express yourself. And on the other hand, it's really a group experience when you're in the different ensembles that they participate in.
That's important, learning how to express yourself through music. And that translates into learning how to express yourself in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is the foundation for learning how to express yourself in so many other ways. And you learn the confidence to express yourself because you
Yeah.
see that you can do it with instruments, with singing, with learning about different kinds of music that people have developed. So it's really a wonderful skill.
Is there a school in your mind that has put something together that can maybe perform somewhere that you remember or recognize?
So our students perform in their schools. They have concerts. They have end of year concerts, and we have concerts now throughout May and June. But our students have performed in the Apollo Theater. They performed in the Beacon Theater.
All
They have
right.
performed at the City Council chambers recently. They perform at the new Perlman Performing Arts Center downtown and near 9/11. They've been doing that every borough is represented. So we have 5 different concerts that our students have performed. And there's such a sense of pride when they do that. Pride by them, pride by their parents, pride by their school, their community.
Yeah.
When they do their concerts in school, their parents come, um, public officials come, representatives from the community come, and it is a real community
Yeah.
undertaking, and it's really joyful. It really is.
Janice, do you have within your organization like a citywide band that somebody can join from each one of these schools? I know they have it
We
in.
don't.
My daughter was involved. She plays the violin. She was involved in something a citywide in Virginia Beach, but you had to try out for it.
We don't have a citywide band that we run, but we do have bands that come together across schools. So we have a band called All from the All Hallows High School,
Yes.
and we have a band in a middle school, PS 223, and they come together and perform. In fact, at our gala last week, we had those two bands performing together, and it was just spectacular because the older ones
Hmm.
teach the younger ones how to perform in a band, and that really, really becomes a wonderful experience for everybody.
Great. And this is one of the ways you raise money through your gala.
That's one of
Yeah.
the ways we raise money. We raise money through our gala. We raise money through individual contributions. Corporations help us. The New York City government helps us. So we're very, very grateful for everybody who invests in the future of the kids of the city of New York.
Good. And you had some wonderful honorees. You want to name a few of them?
Sure, we had Adrian Bela Houghton and Israel Houghton, who are amazing performers. They really lifted up the room. They lifted up the spirits. The
Yeah.
kids then sang with them. We also had John Vasquez, who's with Paramount, and he too was just so committed to the work that our students do.
Hmm.
And both of them, John Vasquez and the Houghtons, both came to our schools. The Houghtons performed with them there and at the gala, and John Vasquez visited our schools, and for them, it's really, they become ambassadors of the work that we do because they see how much this means to the
Yeah.
kids, how much it means to their soul, to their heart, to their mind. It's really a very,
Yeah.
very wonderful process.
So, Janice, you get a lot of people that come back, former students that come back and help you out with your organization?
That we have some students who come back. We have, in some cases, we have students who become teachers themselves. So we have a real community. We have an alumni network of teachers, and we are building that over time. And it's really, as I said before, it's really a community.
And how can our viewers help you with providing this quality education by maybe supporting somehow? Where do they go to maybe
Right.
drop some
They
funds or maybe volunteer?
Anybody who wants to participate, first of all, funds are always necessary because we do this on our own. We don't, we do this through the help of individuals and corporations and foundations.
Yeah.
So you can go online, www.edmonline, one word, .org, to really reach out to us. We do have volunteer opportunities. And if you go to our website, you can also see what those are. We had a wonderful group here last week who came in and did some work for our teachers because it was Teacher Appreciation Week. And there are other ways to volunteer, but it is really, once you get involved with ETM, you get involved with a family of students, a family of teachers and principals, a family of parents. And you really feel that you're a part, as I said before, of a community that cares.
I like that. I love the work that you guys are doing to bring people together and bringing music education to our schools because it's very much needed. Students, they get involved more, I think, when there's music involved. It's a universal language, and it's
That's right.
yeah, they get a chance to interact with a lot of people. Not only get involved in the vibe and the music and all that stuff, but be around people who are doing the same thing.
We would really love it if you came to our schools because you would see these kids really involved.
Yeah,
And once they are involved, they feel valued and they feel that they can do other things as
I
well.
love it.
Most of all, it brings them joy.
Yeah.
We ask kids, what is the most important thing that you feel when you have days where you're performing or you're learning? And they say it really brings us joy. I couldn't do without it, we have some kids saying. So
Yeah.
I think, especially for students who otherwise would never have this opportunity, it's critical that this is part of their lives.
I will accept the invitation.
I hope you do, and I'm going to follow up with you.
Okay. Sounds good. Where can we go again for more information and how we can get involved and all of that? I know you have social media and a website.
Yes. Yes, we have all that. If you go to our website, www.etmonline.org, you'll also see all our links to our social media.
Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you at one of our schools. We'll have a good time. Great. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us
You're
on.
always welcome. Our house is your house.
Thank you, and that's mutual.
There you go. Thank you so much. Janice Weinman, CEO and Executive Director, Education Through Music. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. We love you. We appreciate you. And always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll catch you another day, another way. I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. We love you all. Peace.